We thank all of you for being so much fun and being so bold as to have an incarnation on Earth at this time.
Well, I think you're totally adorable. I wanted to take you home and play in the sandbox with me and jump on my trampoline with me because you are so much fun.
Oh, all right.
So I have two questions.
Yes.
My first question is, I'm happy and peaceful and content 90% of the time.
Yes, we can hear the but in there.
Right. So, but I'm ambitious. I'm saying I think it's possible to be that 100% of the time.
Not necessarily if you are going through a transformation where it's important for you to feel sadness, feel anger, feel fear in order to deal with the belief systems that are connected to those feelings and then integrate them within yourself. But during the actual process, it may be important for you to feel those things in order to get a handle on why you had the feelings to begin with. You understand? So yes, ultimately you could say, yes, you could decide simply to be happy. But if you have chosen to explore certain themes where it's important for you to feel other things in order for you to get a handle on what belief systems generate those feelings, then it may be important to feel those things temporarily until you understand what that mechanism is all about and why it was there to begin with, so that you can work with that energy and it can expand your knowledge of how those things function. You understand?
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up the belief system because that's really the heart of my question.
Well, it's the heart of everything you experience in physical reality. What you believe and define to be true is what you experience. And all feelings and all thoughts and all behaviors come from what you believe or define to be true first. And you cannot have a thought, you cannot have a behavior, and you cannot have a feeling without actually first believing something to be true.
So,
yes.
2 weeks ago in San Francisco, you were suggesting for us to find the reason for beliefs that takes us into that space, like what you were just saying, to explore it.
It sounds like something we would suggest, yes.
So, I have been doing that all my life. I'm just sort of tired of just,
You can take a vacation.
So, what I find is my core, the core always goes back to feeling of undeserving.
Undeserving.
Feeling guilty.
Guilty about what?
Ashamed. Well,
ashamed
see, that's
of
the whole
what?
thing. It's like I've worked it through so many different things,
Yes.
so many emotional releases. It's like
So let me ask the ultimate
hundreds
question.
of answers, but
Let me ask the ultimate question. Remember, none of you, not even you, because there are no exceptions, none of you hold on to anything you don't believe serves you. So how do you believe it serves you to hold on to something you say you don't prefer?
see, that's what I haven't been able to get to.
That's what you need to discover. That's the belief you need to discover. And it usually comes with the idea of a fear attached to the thing you say you prefer that is greater than holding on to something you say you don't prefer, but you are comfortable. If you were to change, if you were to truly let that go, what's the worst thing you fear might happen?
So I've asked us thousands of times and come up with thousands of answers.
But obviously not the one that satisfies you. But that's why we ask the greater question. How is it serving you to hold on to something that you say you don't prefer? What do you get out of it?
Well, the immediate thing is that, I get to stay small. And then the ridiculous thing is, why would I want to stay small? I don't want to remain small.
Are you sure?
Well, why would I want to remain small? So what's the belief?
Well,
behind
define
that?
small.
Not fully being, it's like going.
Not fully being what?
Not fully going for what I really want in life.
And what do you really want?
Having the brakes on.
What do you really want? That you're not going for. Have you defined that? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
And it is. Are you willing to share what that may be? Or at least one version of it, maybe?
Okay, let's just go for one version.
Yeah.
Let's just say in business.
Business. This is
like-
exciting to you, yes?
I love business.
You're passionate about this, yes?
Totally love it. It's totally my life's purpose. I'm living my dharma. I'm so blessed.
Are you now? Then what's the problem? Where do you think you're being held back if you're so totally blessed and living your passion?
It's fun. I love it, but I sort of like hold back on my own success. I could be so much.
Define success. Before you say anything, remember our particular aphorism about that. We know what the one on earth is, but we have, as usual, a slightly different take. If at first you don't succeed, redefine success. Please remember this. Whatever it is, no matter whether or not you are going to do something in a grander way, a more amplified way, a more magnified way, regardless of whether you're going to change and grow, because you will, but regardless of any of that, whatever you're doing, all of you, whatever you're doing at any given moment, you are at that moment a total success at it, whatever it is. At that moment, at that level, you are a total success at it at that level. You're already a success at that level. Again, it doesn't mean you won't do something different, you won't do something more expansive and be a success at that. But the first step is to understand that the only way to expand success is to know you're already a success at whatever you're doing in the way you're doing it right now. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe.
I guess the fact that I'm hesitating according to you, that means no, that I don't totally understand.
Thank you for your honesty. Whatever you are right now is a perfect version of what you are right now, yes?
Yes.
Whatever it is, it's a perfect version of that concept in totality. You are unique. No one else is like you, correct?
Yes. That's correct.
All right. So whatever you are, whatever unique thing you are in all levels is a perfect version of that thing, yes? If someone were to go about creating or wanting to create you as you are right now, by having created you as you are right now, they would have totally succeeded, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Do you get that?
I'm getting there.
All right.
I'm getting there.
All right. If I were to create, if I wanted to create you exactly as you are right now, and I wound up creating you, then I would have succeeded, wouldn't I?
Yes, so what I'm getting is that it's like I'm perfect as I am right now.
Yes, and thus a total success as the version you are right now. You may not, in a sense, be the same later, but you have no business comparing yourself to what you will eventually be. That's where you get into trouble.
Expound on that.
You find the self you are now lacking by comparison to what you prefer to ultimately be. You are erasing your own stepping stones. You are not validating yourself as the stepping stone to becoming the next version of you. I'm not good enough. I want to be here, but I'm not good enough. I want to be here, but I'm not good enough. I want to be here, but I'm not good enough. So if you're not good enough, how can you get there? Because only by being good enough as you are will you be the stepping stone that actually leads you to there. By invalidating yourself, you remove the stepping stone, have nowhere to step to get there. Stop comparing yourself to where you think you're supposed to be and start validating yourself where you are and not worrying about where you're going, because there is nowhere to go but here. Remember, every change simply becomes another version of now. So the idea is to just be the fullest you can be so that you use up all the you are now in order for the next version of you to then come in. Because unless you use up the full version of you now, there's no reason for the next you to come in. There's no reason for the change. because you're not fully being who you are now, not fully validating, not fully loving what you are now in totality as perfect and successful. Stop comparing yourself to where you think you ought to be. Make sense?
Yes, I'm very excited because I'm getting what you're pointing out for me.
Yes.
It's like just give myself space
And give yourself a break.
for where I am now,
Yes.
and that everything that I've done is just perfect and
It
fabulous.
is.
Because
For what
it
it
is.
is.
Because it is. It really is. I do
It
get
is.
that, right?
And has no business being compared in terms of a value judgment to anything else you will create. Of course, we understand you have to take a measurement to know that you have changed and compare the idea of where you were to where you're going and all that. We understand that, but that's a neutral state. That's just a neutral observation. What you're doing is placing value judgments on it, and that's where you hold yourself back.
So it's like my stuff about, okay, I'm not deserving. That's
Yes.
like, okay, just, that's perfect. The fact
Yes.
that I sometimes think, oh, I'm not deserve, or I still have those remnants or whatever
Yes.
that I don't deserve, or
Is a perfect experience of feeling undeserved.
it's like I am great at feeling undeserved at that moment, and I am
Yes.
great at feeling guilty at that moment.
And the paradox is as soon as you simply honestly own the feeling, it's gone. The only reason the feeling perpetuates is because you don't own it. Because you don't want it to be there as if it was some kind of interruption and didn't belong. But when it's perfect, I am feeling undeserved fully as I can. Owning it suddenly allows you to realize you don't feel that way anymore. Make sense?
So I should have a guilt shame party.
All right.
So at dinner tonight, can we have a guilt, shame, and undeserved?
You can do whatever you wish. And remember, while you are feeling undeserving, and while you are feeling guilty, and while you are feeling shameful, please remember you are allowed to feel those things because you're deserving and worthy and beautiful. Because you are unconditionally supported and loved by all that is. You are so unconditionally loved and supported that you are allowed to feel not supported and not loved. That's how loved you are. So get that in your head. Make sense?
Yes, makes sense. But if I can go deeper, because usually I'm not aware that I'm feeling undeserving. I'm not usually, because I'm not thinking myself all the time, I'm not deserving.
When you have the feeling, you are then conscious of it. And when you are conscious of it, continuing to have the feeling is no longer a pattern, no longer a habit, it's a choice. A habit is something you do that you don't know you're doing. When you know you're doing it, the habit is gone. And it becomes a choice if you repeat it. Make sense?
So like in real terms, let's say if I'm feeling
in real terms.
like, well, not just abstract. Okay, so like, let's say if I'm feeling, sort of stuck or,
Yes, sorta stuck. Define stuck in a way that serves you.
So I'm just trying to talk myself.
Define stuck in a way that serves you.
Defines?
I just gave you an example. Many people on your planet define habit as something they just can't help doing. I have told you a habit from our definition is something that you do that you don't know you're doing. And if you know you're doing it, you don't have the habit anymore. The recognition you have the habit is not the beginning of the process of getting rid of it. The recognition of having a habit is the end of the process. So, as I have now redefined habit, redefine the idea of feeling stuck. For example, feeling stuck is just my reality pointing me in an unexpected direction. I'll follow it instead of banging my head against a brick wall. And if I just follow the unexpected direction, if I just become curious about what that unexpected direction is that I have now defined stuck to mean to me, I will no longer feel stuck. I'll feel curious and excited to find out what that unexpected direction is. To use the idea of what you typically on your planet call writer's block. If you have writer's block, write about having writer's block, and you will no longer have writer's block. Redefine the experience. Use the experience in a positive way. Stuck in the muck. Redefine the idea of what stuck in the muck might mean. Maybe it just simply means that your higher mind is telling you this would actually be a better way for you to go in terms of what you say you prefer, rather than what your physical mind is insisting on doing, which actually will allow you to fall into a hole, and I'm telling you there's a way around it. So instead of feeling stuck because you are judging the experience and negatively defining it, define it in a positive way that serves you. Define stuck in a positive way instead of a negative way, and you will see how it serves you. Because all circumstances can serve double duty. Remember, nothing has built-in meaning. The greatest gift you've been given is that life is meaningless. You give it the meaning. You were created to give meaning to life. That's your job as a co-creator. Give it meaning as you prefer to, and you will reap the effect of the meaning you gave it. Because it has no meaning of its own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
My second question.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good day.
Hello, Bashar.
And you, good day.